Special meeting of the HVAC IAQ Building Committee. Thank you, Mark, for the recording. I will stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, liberty and justice for all. Okay. Right, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the 10-4 minutes. We did not get the 11-1. I need to send a note to Sheila.
10-4. Yeah.
10-4.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the 10-4 2024 minutes of meeting as written.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. All right. Phase 1 updates.
Mark Schweitzer retires. Real quick, the demo has been completed. They are in the midst of doing the field measurements and getting the ductwork. I'm sure Tim or Mark will expand on that. The basically it is going. We are on schedule, and we're going through the just on the tracks and going. So I'll turn it over to Gil Bain to provide more color.
Yeah, that's I mean, we're in the right direction. We're on schedule. As Mark said, demo finished. We moved into the verification and shop drawing or fabrication phase. So right now, all 3 schools, interior ductwork is in fabrication. Rooftop ductwork is completed, and we're working to schedule that to get that on the roof. We are up against weather this time of year and temperatures just due to flashing in some of the penetrations. As far as work going on in schools right now, we are kind of bouncing around, preparing for the ductwork deliveries. So we're doing hangers. We are doing, we're going to be doing MEP penetrations in the corridors into classrooms to get, ready for the new layout. So that is the bulk of the work that we're doing week to week, probably over the course of the next few weeks as we prep for ductwork, which, should be next month.
When you say delays for the weather, what does that mean in the sense of?
Well, when we're working on the roof, we have for like the duct stands and some of the penetrations, when we have to flash them back into the existing roof, most of the time roofing, flashing and stuff is a little bit dictated by temperatures. So normally, product data for roof flashing adhesive and stuff is around 40 degrees Fahrenheit and rising. So on certain days, if we're stuck at 38 degrees or something, we might not be able to do certain type of work. So right now it's not too much of an issue because we are we're starting off cold in the mornings, but again, the temperature is rising each day. So right now we're trying to get that work onto the roof and get that stuff, in before it starts to get a little bit harder. And all that means is we just have to pivot and table that until, in the spring. Again, not really an issue, but we're trying to get all the work that we can right now. But weather sometimes becomes a factor for roofing stuff.
No, understood. So when is it? Is it scheduled for the fall or is it scheduled for the spring? Are we ahead of schedule on that context, or are we on schedule?
We have it kind of scheduled for both based on the weather. So we can start, we can continue now, and if we have to table it till the spring, we're not hurting ourselves. Let's put it that way. We kind of knew we were going to run into the weather in the winter, and we kind of planned for that.
Okay, thank you. Mark, any updates on Fitz House for phase 1?
Yeah, we are working through a couple items on the commissioning. with Train and the contractor, getting, because they're the prepackaged controls, we need Train in on some of the adjustments that need to be made. So they're commissioning the unit. They are operational, but they are working through to get the sequence of operations per the intent of the
Yeah,
drawings.
so, and I want to jump in on that, Jeff. So just to, so the work is complete, as Mark said, and we're working on a commissioning thing. It is an oddball, and we have to get Train back in because it's in their package controller, but the project is essentially complete. So since the deadline on the grant is the end of December, I have asked that there's a motion for the Board of Ed to accept, just like they would any other school project, as complete. That doesn't relieve anybody from fixing the commissioning thing. They're still obligated to take care of all that, but just to make sure that we're following all the checkpoints on the grant, I did push that to the Board of Ed for acceptance, and I'll go and speak to that when that agenda item comes up. Also, what's not on your list, which is actually under your purview, just an update. Riverfield, there was a grant given for completed work in the second round of the state HVAC grants. That was for rooftop units that we replaced last summer with the Riverfield roof replacement project. So when I applied for the grant, it was already work that was complete. Technically, you guys, it's under your purview. Just want to let you know I filed the final grant payment application the other day. So all that paperwork is done. So I just letting you know as because you're the bosses of that job, whether you knew it or not.
Did not know that.
It's in your list of charges when all that got updated a few months back. So we had won the grant, and I got the final paperwork in for receiving the actual money. It's something like $16,000 that the town's recouping on that one rooftop replacement.
And
But all
again,
that
so
paper-
where is the actual roofing project as far as physical?
It was
work?
the Riverfield Elementary School. Last summer, we replaced the roof.
So the work's all done. This is a money
And,
thing. That's
yeah,
coming back.
and while we were doing that, we replaced a failing rooftop unit, and then the grant came up, and I threw in the paperwork. But it was on your list of items under your charge.
Okay.
And also there was a survey that the state put out, sent to the superintendent. They just wanted a status update on a couple of questions as to how far along we are in the project. So I took care of that earlier this week.
Which projects are those?
The ones that are right, all five of them: Osborne, North
Okay.
Stratfield, Woods, Fitz, and Riverfield.
And the superintendent passed that on to you to complete?
Yeah, we take care of that paperwork. It was really innocuous kind of paperwork, but just heads up.
Okay. Any other updates on phase one? Principals are all happy?
Yeah, principals working along fine with the principals. Biggest thing is to make sure we're not tripping over, scheduled events and things like that. But we've gotten into a routine. on who to check with and making sure that that doesn't happen. So we're in good shape there.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Mark or Tim?
No?
Nope,
That's it.
I'm good.
Very good. All right. Thank you, guys. Okay, on to approvals.
We do have 9 ATPs. 3 of them are allowances that are owner CM allowances that they're looking for approval to use, and that deals with the temporary power for the cutovers when the transformers are installed. The team is working with UI to schedule the transformers at the schools, trying to get one done over the holiday break, and then subsequent down the line on the breaks. So the first one up is, we'll work down the list here. Fairfield Woods ATP 9 is the temporary power cutover for the existing building. This is an allowance ATP, so there is no cost to the town, no additional cost to the town, and it is estimated. And this is at all. This ATP is for at all 3 schools.
And the dollar amount of, there's no dollar amount?
They are looking for the release of the whole allowance of $75,000.
Across the 3 schools.
This is Osborne
That per
Hill.
school?
Yeah. Original allowance is 75. They're asking to authorize the ATP for 75, so the current balance would be the 0.
So we should have 75,000 in that amount column. I don't know why it's not there.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept ATP 009 temporary power cutoff over from the existing building in the amount of $75,000 allowance.
Second the motion. All right, any other discussion, Rodney?
No.
All right. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, here we
The
go.
next, well, we'll save the save 14 and 32 for at the end of the discussion. The next ATP for Fairfield Woods is ATP 31 for the site light modification. This has to do with existing site lighting along the parking, basically the staff parking on the bus loop. There was existing lights that were not working in the fall. The thought of it was it was construction that had to, it was the cause of the lights not working. So Gilbane and the team went out, investigated it. They discovered that it was there was a break in the conduit, not where off where the construction was. They ended up fixing it because they discovered it, and they are looking to take this out of CM contingency. And we do have pictures, if I can get to it, showing.
Yeah, so just to reinforce, Mark. Yeah, so that first trench there, closer to the bottom of the picture, was our trench for the primary conduit. We had thought maybe something happened when we were trenching because we didn't really have any type of survey done before we touched this area. So we don't know if the lights are working or not. After investigation, you see this new trench that kind of tees off to the top of the middle top of the picture. That is actually where we found the problem to be. So it really, there's no way the construction could have impacted that. But honestly, we had already started the process. And we just figured we're going to fix it because we're there. But we just want to put it through CM contingency just to keep it, just to move forward with it.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept ATP 031 site lighting modifications, $14,148 out of the CM contingency.
Second the motion. Any further
So
discussion?
it's a lot to say. It's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
just my tongue. No,
Okay. All in favor?
I
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
haven't had my third scotch today.
Mark hasn't had his coffee. Rodney hasn't had his scotch. I can hear that.
All right. Next one for Fairfield Woods is ATP 33, modify existing sprinkler head to upright. This is an overrun on the owner CM allowance. The original allowance had $75,000 to do this work, and there was a overrun of $13,754.
So on this one, I had talked to Amar actually a couple days ago. We just haven't had time to do it. So we have an overrun on allowance for Fairfield Woods. One issue is we have the same allowance for all three schools, Fairfield Woods being a vastly larger school than the other two. So we do have significant savings on Osborne and North Stratfield in this allowance category. So what I wanted to actually do is to kind of offset this, Rodney and Jeff, is give you guys a deduct for the same amount to essentially make it kind of a net zero allowance draw. So I wanted to do that. I just didn't have time to do it for this meeting. So if you approve this now, I can give you a deduct from the other school for the same amount for the next committee meeting, which essentially, is essentially zeroing it out in some context.
I'll make a motion to accept ATP 033, modify existing sprinkler heads to upright in the amount of $13,754 out of
Second the motion.
contingency.
All right. Any discussion or questions, Rodney?
None.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right.
Okay. Fairfield Woods, ATP 14, RFI 41, concrete encasement of conduits, and the companion ATP of ATP 32 for UI site requirements. ATP 14 is $26,913, and ATP 32 is $17,602. And these are ones you've previously seen.
So we went back to this, Jeff and Rodney, and we reviewed, the costs and kind of where we had a bust in our estimate. I know last time we talked, we spoke with Amar and myself, and there was some scope that we just had not accounted for in this overall estimate as we were trying to put it together back in the summer. So we feel that, that should not be the responsibility of the town, since it was on us that, when we provided the initial ATP, we just hadn't gathered that scope. So what we look to do here is take some of this into the CM contingency and reduce the balance that, the town would owe to just basically the concrete encasement portion, which is what I think we've all been historically agreeing that we kept outside of the GMP. So that effectively brings your total down to 26,913, and we will take the 17 and put that through our contingency fund.
We still have not seen RFI 041, which I would like to see. We've asked for that, and for some reason, hasn't been provided. I understand that concrete was not clear on the design drawings. It was different in two different locations.
Right.
But I would just like to understand what RFI 041 is and the responses to that RFI. I don't know
Okay.
if Jeff feels the same.
I think I might have misunderstood what you guys requested. I will get you that RFI today. Myself or Miguelina can get that pulled off Procore and get it, and we'll email it over to you guys. I was thinking you just wanted to write another explanation and discussion on this as we broke it out, because I know last call we said we were going to look at it.
Then do you have the RFI you can present it? We can read it together, now. It's maybe go to the next ATP while we bring it up, Rodney. We can circle back to this one, so at least we can all look at it together. If you have any specific questions on the RFI, we can address.
The ATP
Does that make
backup
sense?
has the RFI.
Oh, that's even better.
So I didn't hear what was said. I don't know how long the document is. I don't know if that's the most efficient use of time to read through it during a call, though.
Yeah, why don't we get
Yeah,
through the rest of the ATPs, please?
Yeah, I have to hop at 9:30.
Okay.
Conflict.
The going to North Stratfield, the first one was the concrete encasement over at North Stratfield, so that'll be on hold for the RFI 41. The next one is ATP 20 for the existing pneumatic heating system. This was previously approved, and I didn't give you the original balance of it. The final is
Mark,
It was
just
10.
are we seeing RFI, not RFI, ATP 017 for the first time?
yes,
We are.
yes.
Jesus Christ. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The this was originally approved. If you give me Tim, do you have what the original approval?
It was for 10,000. The initial pneumatic was 10,000, so it went over by $133.
You didn't have markup on it? I thought you had markup on it.
Let me check.
So the additional sums are $133 or
I'm gonna double
10,000.
check, Ronnie. We might be underneath the value. Let me just double check it.
I mean, if it's $133 overage, I don't care.
It might not
If
even
it's a
be over.
$10,000, if it's a $10,000 overage, I think we have to have a discussion.
No, it's
it is
definitely
not
not
a
$10,000 overage.
And I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for Jeff.
I'm with you.
I did not add the column in the right-hand column what the original
The original
was.
ATP was for 10,905. So we came in under by about $700 and change.
Oh, so it's actually under.
It's under,
Yeah.
yeah, it's under. So this really could be an FYI.
So it's an FYI. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Good news on a Friday morning.
Hang on to that feeling when we go back to the 72,979.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll end it here.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, did we, the next ATP for North Stratfield, ATP 23 for the use of the owner CM allowance for the temporary power cutover for the existing building. This is a use of the whole allowance of $75,000. There will be a zero balance.
I'll make a motion to accept ATP 023 temporary power cutoff from existing building for North Stratfield, coming out of the allowance for $75,000.
Second the motion. Any further discussion, Rodney?
Yeah, we're not expecting to see any additional funds for this. Someone?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, it's a healthy sum.
Yeah.
North Stratfield's probably going to be the worst if they do it during. Is the worst case if they do it during the holiday break, because they got to maintain heat in the building, so the generator will need to be large enough to fire the, keep the heat on. The other schools are trending towards April break, so unless we get a cold snap in April, it should be easier to maintain heat in the building, we'll say. So North Stratfield's probably the worst of the bunch, because we're looking at it going to be over holiday break to do it.
And this is funds to UI?
No.
Or is this is just electrical cost?
This is to keep the building operational while they cut over.
All right.
So I assume this is a trailer-based generator type of thing that's coming in to power the school during the cutover?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, any other discussion?
None.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Rodney.
Lastly, for Osborne Hill, ATP 13, same issue, or same ATP, but at Osborne Hill, use of the allowance of $75,000 will leave a zero balance for this allowance.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept ATP 013, temporary power cutoff, or I'm sorry, temporary power cut over from existing building for Osborne School out of the allowance for $75,000.
Second the motion. Any further discussion?
No.
This is Wendy from Capital Projects, and I just have a question. Since 75,000 is consistent across the three properties, was there a breakdown on the period, or does this include restoring it back to the permanent? I'm just asking the question because it seems consistent across the three properties.
Can help explain that if it's okay. I can help explain that if it's okay. Tamar here with Gilbane.
Thank you,
So
Mark.
we carry these allowances. This is just infrastructure, temporary infrastructure, while we shut down the building to replace the transformer and the gear. So basically, we need a period of time to install all this new work, and then UI will energize the permanent new system. So this is a temporary infrastructure that we need to put in place at each school while we do that new work, and then we remove our temporaries, whether it's a generator, temporary panels, feeders, and then energize before. Then we obviously energize the building back on permanent power after. So that's why this is more of an infrastructure that's kind of a temporary system to keep the building on power-wise while we introduce the new work, and then we remove the temporary when we energize the new work.
Okay, so it does include the restoring back to the permanent. I just am asking the question so there's no, surprises later that there's additional, cost after the UI work is done.
And Amir, correct me if I'm wrong, but if let's say Fairfield Woods comes in at $45,000.
Yes.
We get a credit for that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
This is your money. This is your contingency within our
No.
GMP. We're just asking for authorization to use it. It's an
Yep.
estimated amount, and whatever we don't use goes back to you.
I just wanted to
Okay,
make
some
it clear
schools,
for everybody on the call.
absolutely, yes. Some schools may use up a little bit more, meaning not over 75, maybe 30 or 40, and some may use 25. So yes, we want to be able to price, because we're trying to put this infrastructure together with
Sure.
Ferguson's guidance on the design team and UI, obviously. So it depends what the outcome is of this temporary system. For some school might be a little pricier than other, but we're asking for 75,000 authorization to give us the flexibility.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All in favor of the motion to accept
Aye.
013? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Rodney. Okay, so we're jumping back to, do you want to just explain 017 for North Stratfield? It's part of RFI 041, but why is that a
Yep.
new?
Okay. I'll start off, Tim, and then you can jump in. HTP 17 is we had on the plans was the original, had an original location of the transformer basically next to the building. As when UI came out, they wanted it moved into, well, it was between two trees and there was a yard drain where at the location of the transformer. It was decided that the best location for it was in the bus loop, in the island in the bus loop. So it got changed out to the location got changed. This ATP has the concrete encasement and also includes the original was two 4-inch conduits running from the pole to the transformer, which we call primaries, which is dug and the conduits are laid by the subcontractors. Then UI comes in and pulls the wire to the transformer and then sets the transformer. The original, there's a change in length of primaries from the original. It actually got shorter, but it increased the secondaries. So the length of conduit for the primaries shortened, but then the secondaries, there are, instead of two 4-inch conduits, there are now 10 4-inch conduits running from the transformers into the building, which required a larger trench and more conduit. The biggest cost
How did we go from 4 to 10 conduits? Can somebody explain that to me?
I think it's actually from 2 to 10, right? From primary, secondary change.
No. From
Orange.
these are the secondaries from 4, unless I heard it wrong. 4 to
Yeah,
10.
Rod, that's it's there's two primaries that go from the pole to the transformer, and then
Right.
there's 10 secondaries that go from the transformer to
Oh,
the
okay,
building.
I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The
so
secondaries are 4-inch conduits. That's where the
Okay.
4 came in.
yeah,
All right.
10 of them.
No,
So
no,
if you
I thought in the
transformer-
secondaries we went from 4 to 10.
No, the numbers
Okay.
stayed the same. It's just
All
it's
right.
the distance increased on the secondaries.
Okay. Sorry about that.
one of the bigger costs on this is the wire. That is, the secondaries are owned by the subcontractor, and the length of the wire grew from the short length next to the building to, I believe it went from increased by 60 feet, 65 feet. So the length of wire increased, and it was, instead of being 2 conduits pulling that wire, it's now 10 conduits pulling that wire. So the length of wire increased on that. So this includes not only the concrete encasement, but also the increase in wire for the secondaries. And part of the trenching for stalling is it got to be a deeper trench as it got to the into the building. So not only was it a larger trench, but it was a deeper trench as well as it entered the building.
Deeper because of UI requirements?
Deeper because of existing utilities at the building.
So Mark, why did the trench get wider?
To maintain the depth that is required and to put the 4-inch conduit, the 10 4-inch conduit in the trench, and have the concrete in between them.
Rod, I did miss one piece of that, but I think it's the difference between doing the 2 conduits and how much concrete you need to encase 2 versus like if you have 5 above 2. So it's 5 wide by 2 high. So you have to go a little bit deeper, a little bit wider.
Some kind of space or device or whatever, that hangers or something, whatever's in that hole that, and this site did not have any rework done?
No.
Meaning it was designed and it was implemented. There was no redig like at North Stratfield.
Correct.
No, I think the somewhat, I don't know if this is confusing you guys at all, but part of the to me, the confusion about this ATP is there's multiple issues in this thing. So there's the concrete casement, there's the moving of the transformer, there's the items that UI demanded when they came out to the site. So all of those are all piled into this one ATP. So it's almost like there's several issues going on here at the same time.
Okay.
Yes, there are. So essentially between the concrete and UI's changes, it's costing this project over $100,000
Between the 2 schools.
between the 2 schools. Yes.
Yeah, I think this one, probably the tree warden had a little bit more of an impact on this one than like Fairfield Woods. So yes, Rod, you were correct. That one was a lot of rework. This one is mostly relocations of everything. Some demanded by UI, some required by the tree warden.
What was the issue with the tree warden?
The movement of the transformer was moved onto the moved to protect a tree. If we had put the transformer was originally was, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but if the transformer had gone to the original location, it was going to require tree work, or at least put the tree at risk.
Okay, but that wasn't forecasted as part of the pre-con or pre-bid or anything like that?
Correct. The pre-con had it at the original location. Mark, you used to have, I don't know if this ATP has a map or a picture. I can't see the thumbprints well enough.
Yeah, don't.
There was one at one point, I remember seeing you had drawings.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up.
We did talk about this, the move of the transformer before.
Yes,
Correct.
we did.
Was that under an auspices of an ATP? It must have been.
Yeah, but it wasn't anywhere near $72,000.
Agreed.
$73,000.
So is this additional monies?
No.
Is this above even the 70? Is it the other ATP plus the 72?
No. This is this is the only one.
So this is a
ATP.
revisement.
No, this is not even a revised. This is
Okay, so we just talked about it under the auspices of a status update for
correct.
Mr. Traffic, perhaps?
That we're
Okay.
moving off transformers.
Okay, I'm
So moving
asking
it-
because if it's helpful to tweak the process, then we can talk to Jeff Minder about taking a look at trees as part of, you know, the bid package scope expectations. Then we should do that.
No, it's a bit too far down the road for that right now.
No, I got you. I'm talking about the future. There are lots
Yeah.
of schoolwork.
No,
Yeah,
I
Wendy, I think
appreciate
that
that.
would be appropriate to have
Okay.
him do a
Oh.
review of
Uh-huh.
site plans.
Okay, great. I'll put that on my list to talk to him about for future work.
We can talk offline too, Wendy. There were some issues at where was it? Fairfield Woods with Park and Rec. Sort of
Mm.
there wasn't coordination between
Okay.
the two projects. So that's something else too that the town could look to
Oh,
improve
okay.
upon.
Right.
All
So
right.
if Anthony Calabrese, okay, so that's a separate conversation. Happy to have that. Okay. Thank you.
Mark, if we approve all these ATPs, what's the contingency left?
It is in on the contingency. Let me see if I can go someplace else. But let's see. For North Stratfield, we
Total
still
contingency.
have,
North Stratfield was what? Was 911 as of the last FSR.
and we're down. We're at 876 right now.
Current.
Left in the contingency for North Stratfield?
Yep. That was North
What about-
Stratfield, Osborne Hill.
Osborne Hill, I'm not concerned about yet. How about Fairfield Woods?
It's about 1.5 million, 1.47 as
Remaining?
of the last FSR.
And those and these costs are encumbered on there.
Mm-hmm. All right, it kills me to do this, but ATP, I move to approve ATP 017 RFI 041 concrete encasement of conduits for 72,979 out of contingency.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion?
I still want to see the RFI 41 and the responses. Regardless, but that's it.
Agreed. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So that leaves the 014 and 032 at Fairfield Woods to be acted upon or tabled.
Correct. I'm sorry, was that a question or?
It was a statement, but I don't know, Rodney,
Okay.
if you have an opinion, would you prefer to hold on those two until we have the RFI, or would you prefer?
Yeah, I mean,
comfortable
I
voting
would.
now?
I would like to look at the RFI before we approve it. Because this is one that's been out there and we've been asking for it for quite some time.
Okay, so we'll table those two till December 6th.
Okay.
Moving on invoices.
That's not it.
Pay the bills.
We have basically 6 invoices. I'll blow it up. 3 for Gilbane for the HVAC project at Osborne Hill, North Stratfield, and Woods. Save More for Fitz House, and Colliers for our services in October, and then Van Zelm, the commission agent, for their services in October as well. Total invoice packet is $1,120,075.16.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept Gilbane's invoice 007 for Osborne, North Stratfield, and Woods, combined for a total of $1,092,893.46.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? Thank you for doing the math, Rodney.
Yeah.
Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Rodney.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept Savemore's invoice number 11, dated 10/31/2024, for $8,075.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion, Rodney? Questions? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Skip over Colliers. I make a motion to accept Colliers invoice. Of course, they have the biggest number, 995085, dated 11/5/2024, for $14,275.54.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Want Van Zelm as well?
And finally, yep, Van Zelm, I'll make a motion to accept Van Zelm's invoice 52,687, dated 11/18/2024, in the amount of $4,831.16.
Second the motion. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's all pass. Okay. Back to the agenda.
Killing.
Okay, old business. We had the heat in the front office at North Stratfield. We talked about the end of October. Any updates there? All done?
There is a bulletin out there for costing on that for to replace that. So it is with the Gilbane subcontractors to provide a price for that.
Sorry, guys, I just have to take some notes here to put into the minutes. And how about the light control investigation?
We did have a meeting this week with Fairfield Public Schools and the design team. The scope on the light controls is limited to 9 rooms, Jesse, versus every classroom. So it is, go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, we're just coordinating how to deal with the lighting controls, but it's really the questions are mostly related to nine classrooms, but we're still kind of coordinating with Sal exactly what he wants to have and how to best meet his what he's asking for.
It's getting better.
Yeah, yes, I agree. Just taking a lot of time to get there, but yeah.
Is that the same issue with the reintegration of the systems at the schools, the RTUs? Upgrades? No, that's the other one.
No, that's a
That's the
separate
bigger
issue.
one. Yep, I remember that. Okay, that's on hold at the moment. Okay, we talked about that. Rodney, any other old business on your side?
Excuse me, none.
Okay, nor mine. A new business, with a few items this morning, actually. So informational, the Tomlinson is going to the RTM for approval on the 25th. And we do expect that school project to be coming to this board. So just be aware. The bond resolutions, there's a bond resolution of the HVACs for 5.6 million. These are estimate or rough numbers, and the roof is another 4.2 million. So it's about a $10 million project.
Well, that roof includes 2 or 3 other schools. So that 4 million is divided between.
I'm sorry,
the
yes,
three.
the bond resolution,
Yep.
yes. We also have the 2025 calendar, which Mark is showing. Rodney, did you get a chance to review this calendar? Do you have any
Yeah.
conflicts?
None as of now.
Sure, of course, right. Just, but I didn't miss anything major, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. The only thing I request is that 9:15 move to 9. I don't know where we got the 9:15 start time for these
No, it
meetings.
is nine. Yeah, that, so, my motion for acceptance of this is to move all of the meetings to a 9 o'clock start.
Yeah.
I do understand the 9:15 start, but it's no longer relevant, so we can move to 9 o'clock.
Right.
Rodney, that was a previous member had a conflict.
Yeah, no, I do remember.
And that's why I came up with that.
I don't have kids on school buses, so we're all good.
I mean, we can even go earlier if you want, but anyway.
I don't know how I don't know how everybody else feels about earlier. Is there anyone who has a problem with an 8:30 start?
That's just as I'm getting to the office
Okay,
for
so
me.
you prefer 9?
If it was, if that's what you did, I would just make sure I was on. It's whatever.
And we definitely want Sal to have his first cup of coffee.
Oh, absolutely. But
Rodney is for scotch.
if you
Yes.
need to make it 8:30, you need to make it 8:30.
9 o'clock's fine. It's fine.
We'll leave it at 9. We can see how it goes, and we can look to adjust later, I guess, if things work out. So we can vote on this at the next meeting. I'll just leave it. If anybody, Mark can distribute if he hasn't already. If anybody has any, if I missed anything, any school holidays, I did not look at the school holiday schedule. I will admit that. I just thought of that. So if there's anything that's a conflict, if anybody can chime in on that, that'd be appreciated. Just to save me the bureaucracy of having to post special meetings and change dates with the town clerk's office.
Stand by 1 second. Well, the school calendar is only out for through June, but so we're looking Fridays. The 14th is February break. I'm around. It's not a holiday for me.
Okay.
March, April. You missed the break in April, and no, you're. It looks like you're good to go.
Very good. Okay.
July 4th.
Yeah, I moved the July 4th. I pulled it up to the June 27th. So we'll have
Okay.
Multiple, we'll have an extra meeting in June and only the one in July because of the holiday.
Yeah, I
August 20th, that Labor Day weekend.
don't know. We should be having less meetings at that point than rather than more, because
Correct.
That is Labor Day weekend, the 29th, yes.
Yep.
The Friday, that's the Friday before Labor Day.
Yep.
Is that impactful to anyone?
Not me.
Nor I.
too far in the future to know.
That too.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so anybody, just take a look. We'll presenting it today. We'll vote on it on the 6th of December.
Jeff, even if it was a conflict for two of us, we could just cancel
Right.
it.
I just want to make sure I didn't hit something that was going to be a major problem, or I missed some religious holiday or something that someone had a problem with that we wanted to move it. So that's all. My initial view, it looked good, but I didn't know.
No, I think it's perfect.
Okay, so that's that, and then Rodney, especially with Joe not being here, but we'll go into special session on the 6th just to discuss the 2025 and the new school projects is around the contractors.
Yep.
We'll have that discussion. And that is it for new business from me. Rodney, anything on your side from new business?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. No new business then. The next item on the agenda is adjournment. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
I make the motion to adjourn.
What time is it? 9:58. Very good. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
All right,
Jesse,
take care.